when Nick Chubb gets back. They're not worried about it right now.
Well, I think too, because they haven't really tried to run the ball.
Yeah.
They really have relied on Watson, and that's not going to cut it every week. You have to be able to run the ball. I really think they need to run the ball even more. I like Jerome Ford. I like him a lot. He runs hard. He plays hard. I think he needs to see more carries, especially against the Giants.
Oh, for sure.
Let the run game develop a little bit. I was going to ask Nick, because you cover the Browns too, what are you expecting out of this game with the Giants?
I think you're going to have a team that is full of guys. Yeah, they're not the most talented and they're discombobulated, and people are picking them to be last place, which makes them dangerous, in my opinion. You have a lot of guys. They have a ton of free agents. I was looking at the end of this year. So that makes them desperate. You have a lot of guys playing for contracts on that team, so they're going to want to show up. And like Kate said earlier, the Browns look past them, man. The Giants are going to play with a chip on their shoulder this week because everyone's pretty much circled them as a win. And, if I'm Dable, I'm using that as motivation to my guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they only lost to the Commanders by 3. Daniel Jones had 2 touchdowns. He didn't look bad this week. It was just a tight game that they're not ready. They're not mature enough as a team to win those really tight games. But they didn't look that bad this week. It was only like I said, a 3-point loss. Can someone help me understand what the Browns are doing with Jameis Winston? Like, they threw him in a couple times, and I didn't understand why. Is it a scenario thing? Like, I thought Deshaun was good at the quarterback sneak stuff, but then when I would see Winston in, I'm like, why is he in here?
I think it's because Winston is, 6'4", 220, 230, I think. At least in the last couple of seasons. And I understand where you're coming from, Adele. Like, why exactly are they throwing him out there? I think right now they're using him the same way they would use Jacoby Brissett a couple seasons ago, or even Joe Flacco. We didn't see any quarterback sneaks until Flacco came in. They feel comfortable with whatever big body quarterback they got, the biggest, body-wise within that depth chart, and throwing him out there and saying, get us that 1 yard. So along with being that veteran presence, with Watson, I feel, and another adequate quarterback if needed on the chart. But yeah, he definitely came through within the quarterback sneaks. And yeah, I mean, might as well make some. It was kind of funny earlier with him because Jerome Ford said earlier during the press conference, during our presser, that Jameis Winston comes into the huddle and says a play like he's unveiling some kind of big secret, and that sounds exactly like Winston. So he's just really, from the players' outlook, really been a positive light, it seems, on that team too, which is understandable. You see all the funny clips and all the funny interviews from his past years and in his career,
Mm-hmm.
At some point, they're going to have to let him throw the ball, because otherwise the defenses are going to see him and be like, oh, it's a quarterback sneak, and they're just going to put 10 in the box, and then you're not getting your yard. Because our offensive line is still beaten up. It's not good enough to get a yard yet. Maybe when we're healthier. But it wouldn't surprise me if he comes in on a 3rd and short and the Giants think sneak and Stefanski takes that opportunity to have him throw something to somebody. It might be fun. If it happens, y'all saw I said it first.
Well, when you want Jameis to throw it, you just don't want him throwing the interception with that too. So,
but you could do a bubble screen. You could do something, a pitch out to somebody, Jerome Ford, let him go running by. If everybody's in the middle to keep that sneak from happening, there will be nobody left between him and the end zone.
You know who did good bubble screens too?
Who?
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt was the king of the bubble screen. He can't hear no more. He has moved on. I wish him nothing but the best. Loved him when he was here. Sad to see him go, but it is what it is.
He didn't have to.
I have to root for the name on the front. I cannot attach myself to the name on the back anymore because they don't attach themselves to me.
That's true. That's true. Well, moving on to Ohio State really quickly.
Uh-oh. Well, it'll be a quick conversation. The Buckeyes were off last week.
I know.
They got a bye week 3. I don't understand the schedule.
No. I don't like bye weeks in college.
Do you like having Ohio State play Michigan on Thanksgiving weekend is my question.
Absolutely, yes.
Then that's why. Seriously.
And I love the new playoff rules.
Yep.
Where the 4 conference winners or get a bye because it makes the conference games still matter.
Mm-hmm.
And it, in a way, penalizes teams like Notre Dame who refuse to join a conference. Cool. You'll never get a bye. I'm passive aggressive like that.
If they can even make the playoffs.
And you got the
'cause
SEC who could have teams 1 and 2 or 1 and 3. Only one of you gets a bye. You got to win your conference championship. Those games matter. And we best be beating Michigan this year in our conference championship. Heck, it might not even be Michigan.
Well, Notre Dame ain't going nowhere because of that loss to, who was it, Northern Illinois University or something like that?
But in college football, if you're going to lose, you want to lose to week 1. Because now you got 11, 12 weeks to put on a show and to get style points and to make everybody forget about week 1. You don't want to lose in like week 9.
Yeah, but I will say Notre Dame had a nice bounce back. Shout out to Buckeye Marcus Freeman. Pretty much saved his job this week. Went out, absolutely destroyed Purdue 66-7. So I think Notre Dame still.
Purdue?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Notre Dame's a really good football team. They just had a bad week.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So new number 1, Texas.
Yep.
Georgia barely beat Kentucky. They only beat them by 1 point.
Ugly. Georgia not. Carson Beck is not. I'm having a meltdown. Who's the quarterback that won back-to-back championships?
Stetson.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's not the facilitator. They don't have the running backs that they did. They don't have the linemen. Georgia's down. So this is the year to knock Georgia off. But the problem is Texas has a great team. They get Isaiah Bond from Alabama. They're stacked at wide receiver. Really good running back, good quarterback. He did get hurt, though. Quinn Ewers did get hurt. So that's something to look at. But, yeah, Ohio State, they were off. But, they're going to get into their beef of their schedule coming up. And, I love this team. The first 2 weeks, entertaining to watch. A lot of new faces. I think they did a really nice job of meshing in with the chemistry. Will Howard is a breath of fresh air. I think he fits in better to this offense. I absolutely have loved Chip Kelly's play calling through the first 2 games. I don't know what you guys think, but I love his mix and match of run and pass. I think that Kevin Stefanski should be taking notes.
I think so, too.
I agree with everything you said. I got nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Jury's still out on Will Howard a little bit. He's got a lot to prove, as a Buckeye quarterback. So, we shall see. But yeah, they said Arch Manning came to that Texas game and went bananas. So
yeah, but who they play? UTSA.
Oh, you play UTSA?
Do that against Oklahoma. Do that against Alabama, and then maybe I'll smirk.
Because what year is Arch Manning? Is he a freshman?
No, he's a redshirt sophomore.
Oh.
Yeah, so he stayed. He could have transferred, but he wanted to play at Texas. I don't know if you saw, but his uncle Peyton Manning made a bold statement yesterday saying, that's the difference between Arch and some of these other quarterbacks that are chasing the money, chasing the starting spot. He wanted to play for Texas and Coach Sark, so he's being patient. And, with the injury now, if Arch continues to play well, there might be a quarterback controversy in Texas.
Peyton Manning said that, and that's, he said that spoken like a rich person. So I don't know what he's talking about. Talking about leave for the money. He's staying for not because of the money. Yeah, his uncle is pretty rich, and I'm sure will help him out. So, okay, whatever. So what can be expected coming out of this game with Marshall and Ohio State?
Honestly, I think that, Marshall's 1-1. They're coming off a bye too. They got absolutely manhandled by Virginia Tech. So I wouldn't expect them to be on the same level as Western Michigan. I would hope that they would put up a little more of a fight, especially defensively. I think they're going to try to really throw the ball on us more because the first 2 games, they didn't have the wide receivers in Akron and Western to really toss the rock around on us. But, Rachel, in all honesty, I'm not trying to sound arrogant. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but there's not going to be too many teams outside of maybe Texas I don't think Georgia has a good enough passing attack to match up with us. Maybe Oregon and Texas, but our secondary and defense overall, Jim Knowles, third year, and this is the third year for his system. They say that his system ages like fine wine each year he's there. And you look at all the pro talent, 10 out of these 11 guys, I believe, will be in the NFL. So I love our defense.
That's a bold prediction, sir.
I'm just saying, I mean, find a weakness. Can you find a weakness in Ohio State's defense?
Vegas has
Not
the
yet.
over-under at 51, but they have the point spread at 40. So they clearly don't think Marshall's going to score more than 10 points.
Well, actually, the fun fact, Ohio State, I know it's only 2 games, they have yet to surrender a touchdown.
Yep.
So, and Denzel Burke didn't even play most of the game in the last game because of a crappy targeting call. So,
I believe the Buckeyes defense is better than their offense. Do you agree?
yeah, but that's comparing apples to oranges, really, because I think our offense is still trying to find their identity. Mm-hmm. The defense is a well-oiled machine. At this point, they're running on cruise control. Offense is still trying to find their rhythm, but don't sleep. That offensive line is getting better and better and better and better, and I really like Judkins and Henderson in the 1-2 combo. So, and Jeremiah Smith is going to be an All-American freshman. It was an absolute slap in the face by the AP that he didn't receive preseason All-American honors, and he's making the AP pay for it now and the rest of the country.
All right, guys, we're going to take a really quick break again this time, and then we're going to come back and talk some Guardians who are playing right now. So you're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly Saturday. I didn't want to say that, but don't be hating on my boy Will Howard, Rachel.
She can't hear us. She's listening to the commercial. I liked him at Kansas State.
I did too.
I think it's nice to have a grown-up under center.
Yep.
He's a fifth-year senior.
All right,
right?
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. I am here with Cleveland Kate. I'm so happy that she's back. I've missed her. She's been out of the country, so she's been missed here at Her in the Huddle. Also, Nick Michaels from VSBN, .net for OSU. He covers OSU football, and the lakefront.com for all things Cleveland, and Irie Harris at cleveland.com. So right now, the Cleveland Guardians are playing against the Minnesota Twins, big series that they have coming up with them. And right now they're in the bottom of the first, and the score is 0-0. So they just came off of sweeping the Chicago White Sox and splitting a 4-game series with the Tampa Bay Rays. So they are playing right now, and they kind of need to win this series too.
They definitely do. I don't know. I'm not worried about them as far as closing out the division. I know the schedule's tough to close out because we play the Cardinals, and then who do we play after that, Rachel? I can't remember.
I'm looking it up right now.
But I think the pitching has done a better trying to hold strong. I think Gavin Williams has done a lot. Bob Lively starting to find his rhythm. So I think things are looking up for the Guardians right now.
I think so too. They play the Reds after they play the Cardinals for a 2-game set. Why do they play them for a 2-game set? I don't understand that.
Just how the schedule falls. So they realigned the schedules last year, 2 years ago. So we play. It's just like the NBA. We play everyone in baseball, which I love that now.
I do too.
Yeah, and I'm also heartbroken. We got to talk about this real quick. Absolutely heartbroken. You know what I'm about to say, Rachel. That the Guardians sent Tyler Freeman down right before the playoffs. That was a heartbreak. I know he's not the best hitter, but he's arguably one of the best fielders on this team. And I know that Andre Knott was saying that the guys were really, really kind of taken out by that because he's such a leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah. I was surprised about that too. But what other roster moves are you gonna, do we anticipate seeing as well? Because some people are gonna be sent down. So
Oh, Brent.
Anthony Ghost, was such a comeback story, and they sent him down too. So but he wasn't going to be here pitching towards the end. So it's just who's it's going to be interesting to see who makes that final playoff roster, especially when you have players who really haven't been playing. And I think what he's doing is he's trying to gear that roster up for playoffs now, and he's trying to see what he can work with and stuff like that. He already knows about what the bullpen can do, so there's really no questions about that. But Emmanuel Clase, could he be considered for the Cy Young Award? That's something that's been talked about a little bit, and that they've been asking Stephen Vogt, could he be considered for the we think of like starting pitchers and stuff like that, but he is literally the best pitcher, the best closer in all of baseball, has more saves than everybody else, captured the Guardians/Indians record of saves. Could a closer be considered the best pitcher in baseball? And could he get the Cy Young this year?
I think he could, but I think tradition goes with a starting pitcher. And yeah, there are so many talented pitchers. You got Lugo from Kansas City, and then of course the Yankees have Garrett Cole. So many talented pitchers this year, Rachel. I don't know. It's going to be tough for him. That would be awesome, but I just don't see a closer winning it, to be honest with you.
Can we, Kate, you shaking your head now? Can we think about outside the box a little bit?
We can think as outside the box as we want to think. I can think of some amazing closers in the past that didn't get a Cy Young, so I don't know why.
Mariano Rivera never won a Cy Young.
Right. So
they're the GOAT when it comes to closing.
Yeah. And on a purely selfish, personal point of view, I don't want him to win the Cy Young because then they'll trade him away. They won't re-sign him. You know how we do. I'm not worried about the Guardians. They're going to handle their business through the end of the season. I'm more worried about what the Royals are doing because they don't play anybody who's any good until they see the Braves the last 3 games of the season. They got Detroit, they got the Giants, they got the National. Like, they're playing crappier teams than we are. And so they're going to skate through. Braves are the only ones that are going to give them a game. We just need to handle our business. I'm going to be scoreboard watching for the Royals the next few days.
Well, depending on what they can do against, Minnesota, right now, Yankees lead the AL. They lead the AL at 87 and 83, and the Guards are 86 and 64. So, just a point, 7 percentage point is the difference. They're leading the AL Central. They're leading the AL Central by 5.73, and the Royals are 4 games out, and the Twins are 6.5 games out. But it's very important. They're getting close to the magic number and clinching the spot, clinching the spot in the playoffs. So that's definitely a good thing. And guys, that's the show. So go Guardians. They're playing right now. Turn it on to your TV. I want to thank Irene. I want to thank Nick. I want to thank Cleveland Kate. Thank you so much for being here with me today, guys. I appreciate it. You've been listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM, and we are out of here.
All right, as usual, I talk too much, but I can't just sit there when there's silence, Rachel. You know I got opinions on everything. Where's Miss Sapphire today?
She couldn't make it, so.
All right. Well, it was nice chatting with y'all.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. Bye.